kills the mood. So that's a little bit unfortunate. So we're gonna have Loda against Dendi and Ancient Apparition. So looks like my lanes are all fucked up. So Ancient Apparition is gonna play against the Enigma, and there's gonna do a dual lane, and it looks like Playmate is already fucked. And Dread picks up the first line. So looks like just a chain stun. They're gonna dual lane bottom with the Windrunner and the Sand King, and Playmate is spamming enraged that a triple stun lane owned him. So I think bottom lane is pretty well fucked. But if Loda manages to win the mid lane, and with Lycan being an ever-present threat in the jungle, they should theoretically be able to win the other two lanes. Earthshaker plays sort of Veil Fisher, or maybe just Fisher to trap him on the same side as Chaos Knight as he goes in for some high damage harass, and Playmate is spamming a lot of things that I don't really know mean much about anything. Yes, that wasn't really coherent, but you weren't looking for coherency, you were looking for star players like Loda. And Loda is doing a good job harassing Dendi. I mean, he's already a level ahead. Although, meanwhile, fucking Sand King dies to Ars-Art, Dread, and Earthshaker. So, now we're going to watch Loda for a bit, because I'm sure that's most of the reason why you want to watch it. You don't want to watch Milk Jungle, you don't want to watch AA versus Enigma, which I'm sure neither player can kill the other. But I'm going to focus most of my attention onto the mid lane and the bottom lane. So I'll be watching the minimap carefully. Thank you for your comments on my other game. I really appreciate it. People said to improve my minimap awareness, which was sort of the focus of that last game. That's why I picked a Filipino game, to work on my minimap awareness. And it sort of worked. I sort of caught up with it, but I missed the Wododa moment, which you actually saw in my introduction, which was very poorly edited. But you still saw it nonetheless. So yeah, I'm going to be watching the minimap very carefully to see what happens. So Earthshaker came up for a stun harass. Looks like they're going to have a maybe... I don't really know what they're doing. I guess they just sort of wanted Dendi to get a bit of the lane back, win the lane back a bit against Loda. So already Sentinel has a 2-0 lead. They picked up the first blood, and Dread is coming around to sort of just say, "Hi, I'm here, Loda. What you gonna do about it?" Loda just was like a lol laser, and he's probably gonna rock it, and yeah. Is this the wrong version? This must be the right version. Because I don't really know what the purpose of Dread's maneuvering was. I mean, he just sort of fed. I mean, sure, he sort of pushed Tinker off the lane, but with his death, Tinker got the experience advantage back. So, yeah, Dread, maybe trolling Loda a bit. I don't really know what to say. So, Playmate, alright, looks like, is Ars-Art getting most of the farm on the bottom lane? Yeah, he's 15-4, so they're going to do a farming Vengeful Spirit. This is pretty interesting. I mean, Vengeful Spirit can sort of do pretty good damage, but, I mean, with an alternate, swap, that often means that you're going to be dying a lot. So, yeah, you don't really see Vengeful Spirit being the primary carry in the game. Looks like Dread came back up to gank again, and Shaker got the fissure, but it didn't really do enough damage. But Dendi and other people got enough damage to kill the Sand King, and Loda managed to pick off Dread, but Loda died to Dendi, who got a double kill. So with that, Dendi's probably won the lane. So I guess if that's what they were trying to do, I mean, they won the lane, and Vengeful Spirit hasn't died, so technically they're sort of winning the bottom lane, technically, as a level advantage. And top lane's probably a wash. Let's just check out quick farm. 7-1 on the Enigma. Ancient Apparition, 18-7. So Enigma's getting thoroughly ass raped by the Ancient Apparition. Lotus says, yeah, looks like they're just gonna do a dual lane of maybe a tri-lane. I don't know. Looks like Dendi wants to gank the Ancient Apparition a bit. Looks like, yeah. So Enigma kind of got cold-feeted and owned, but Dendi's coming around, gets a couple nice raises, gets cold-feeted and ice blasted, and looks like he might die. Yes, he dies to the Z-Maj. So good play by Z-Maj, picking up a kill on Dendi. I didn't really know why Dendi just didn't attack Z-Maj. He had double damage, and he was being cold-feeded, but if he just attacked him a couple more times, then surely surely Ancient Apparition would have died. But instead he decided to let himself get stunned by the cold feet and feed. So, not so well played by the Scourge. Meanwhile, Sand King and Windrunner are getting a nice shadow shot by Playmate and a nice power shot. Can he get it? Nice magic wand by the Vengeful Sphere, and he salves up and looks like he's going to be okay. So Sand King is a very sad scorpion. Very sad scorpion. That's a bit of an alliteration right there. So, yeah, should be pretty fun. Meanwhile, Dendi is missing raises like a boss. Like a boss. I'm sure Dendi could raise if he felt like it, but I guess he didn't. So, yeah. Pro level analysis coming at you with a B-Bond. I'm sure Dendi could have hit that raises if he felt like it, but he didn't really feel like it, so you're welcome for that analysis. Meanwhile, Loda comes mid, and looks like CK and Vengeful Spirit managed to pick off the Sand King, but Loda comes in for some backup support. Loda doesn't really have boots, though, and he gets swapped by the Vengeful Spirit, but he does feed the laser to Loda, so Loda doesn't have much farm. He has 700 gold. I'm sure he's going to pick up boots pretty relatively soon. And meanwhile, Lycanthrope and Enigma meet up, and looks like Enigma is going to do a lot of damage to Lycanthrope. Probably get the kill on Milk. No, Milk! Milk dies to Enigma, so good jungling by the Enigma. Realizing he was getting totally owned in the lane, decides to go to the jungle, try to find a Milk. He caught a Milk, and what? Oh my god, Milk Solution and the wolves kill the Enigma, and Sand King found that very hilarious. So, man, those wolves do a lot of damage. I mean, with Enigma blowing the Black Hole, Black Hole doesn't do enough damage by itself without supportive teammates. It's just really sort of good as a disable. And the damage was enough to kill the Illusion or the wolves, so well played by Milk Solutions and wolves, I suppose. Loda says he's gonna go heal, and looks like nope, nothing's happening bottom. Vengeful Spirit is still farming 28 and 6, so they're gonna do a support Chaos Knight, which I don't really think is the right way to play him. But this is a sort of publish high skill game, so it looks like they're gonna experiment with some builds. Chaos Knight does have high mobility and he can roam pretty effectively, so he doesn't really have an AoE like Sven, but I think he's a little bit more item independent than Sven. He can do a lot of damage without any items. His high mobility allows him to get up close and personal, and I think he could play a pretty decent support. And of course his Reality Rift is just a ridiculous skill, which pulls people back, which is basically a Dark Seer along with a Blink Strike damage. So Dendi's getting jumped on by 3 heroes, and Loda already uses Laser to harass a bit, but looks like he'll pick up the kill anyway. Nice, thanks to a nice power shot and a nice Burrow Strike coming in from Czar and Playmate. So Loda's picking up his farm a little bit, and we'll see how fast he can get his boots of travel. It's already 8 minutes in. I think the fastest boots of travel I've seen was like Misery getting in 8 minutes boots of travel in a tri-lane. So yeah, that's ridiculous for him, and Loda certainly won't be able to pick up that. Meanwhile, Sand King comes around. He's a little too slow to catch up with the Enigma. He already picked up boots, so he'll have high mobility. But Enigma has boots as well. So boots will allow Sand King to gank pretty effectively. Meanwhile, Lycanthrope is like, fuck boots, man. I just need Vlads. So, it's 66, but Sand will manage to pick up the first blood. But I do think, with Chaos Knight not farming, and with Vengeful Spirits farming, and with Dendi sort of dying, I think Scourge has the late game advantage, so it's up to Sentinel to sort of do what they will need to do in order to win. Looks like Vengeful Spirit swaps and managed to get a kill on the Ancient Apparition, but in doing so had to feed himself to the Sand King. So I don't really know what the point of giving that farm to a Vengeful Spirit. I guess they're sort of just trolling a bit and saying, let's try to carry Vengeful Spirit, but swap sort of defeats the purpose of that in the early game. Although with the Command Aura and Hell of Terror, he can do a lot of physical damage later on. Of course, his range isn't the highest, and his ultimate doesn't really provide him any form of DPS, but he can do damage nonetheless. So, let's see what's happening now. I think I should stop saying so. I think repeating myself is sort of the biggest flaw at the moment, along with minimap awareness. I'm going to try to improve that as best I can. Although I have been noticing, I haven't been saying as much as I thought I would in 40 to 50 minute games, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that. I think I deserve a cookie. I'm going to give myself a cookie, or actually a Gatorade sickle. 7 to 7, 10 minutes in. if you've been watching my last commentary, which is a Pinoy cast, I got a lot of good feedback for that. I'm planning to do another Pinoy cast in the near future, hopefully in a couple of days. But Pinoy games, they take quite a toll on your voice and take quite a toll on your mini-map watching skills. So, yeah. Looks like Loda's gonna feed. No, Loda doesn't die to the Vengeful Spirit and the Enigma. Enigma gets a nice black hole, and looks like Sand King is pretty well fucked. And Ancient Apparition comes with a nice blast, so he barely misses the Vengeful Spirit, and Loda says no mana, so he can really go in for the chaos on the Vengeful Spirit or the Earthshaker. And Sand King is like, Loda's like, thanks for saving. And Sand King is like, NP bro, you're Loda. I love you. You're my role model. I think Loda is a lot of Dota fans' role model. I mean, if you just want to farm all day and sort of be a boss about it, then you definitely want to emulate Loda, because Loda, he farms all game like a ZSMJ, probably not as efficiently or as well. Meanwhile, Dread gets a kill on the Ancient Apparition, so I'm sorry for missing that. But anyway, about Loda. Loda farms all day like a ZSMJ, probably not as efficiently, probably not as skilled as we see Vengeful Spirit and Chaos Knight pick out Playmate. Anyway, back to my point. No, I think we're just not going to have my point ever made. Loda picks up kill on Ars-Art, and I don't really know what Milk does. Milk is doing, he didn't really go in, but he did finish Vlad's, he didn't really have enough mana for Wolf Form, so without Wolf Form, and without enough mana for casting Wolves, Lycan's not really that useful in the early game. You can't really do enough damage, although the Wolves are harassing Earthshaker quite a bit, and Earthshaker misses a stun. Well played by Milk, microing the Wolves. Looks like Milk does have enough mana right now. Chaos Knight does get a stun on the Shadow Fiend, on the Lycanthrope, but I don't really know what Sand King was doing, so maybe the Burrow Strike was on cooldown, but he had to know that Dendi was there, so it must have been on cooldown. If he had stunned there, then yeah, Dendi would have died, and that's sort of the end of my coherent thinking right there. Anyway, Loda is a boss. Moral of story. People like him because he's sort of funny, and he's funny, and I don't think he takes himself too seriously, but he likes to have fun with the game, and he plays well. So that's probably the reason why people like Loda so much, as well as the early game SK dominance, the old SK gaming dominance. Meanwhile, Dread, Vengeful Spirit, and Enigma pick off Playmate. Playmate buys wards before he dies. Let's check his gold. Maybe he didn't. So nice purchase by Playmate, buying wards before he dies. Noticing that with the gold loss, he probably wouldn't have enough to buy any item, so might as well buy wards if you're not farming too well before you die. So well played by Playmate. And yeah, I mean, Dread isn't getting much farm, but he's getting 4 kills, so he has Arcane Boots, which is a pretty interesting choice. Once you get to a certain point with Chaos Knight, I don't think you need too much. You don't really need too much mana regen. You just need sort of a mana pool, because mana regen won't help him that much because his intel gain is extremely low. So he needs a high mana pool, but I think a couple of bracers and a magic wand would suffice. Or maybe pick up a bottle. I think Treads is probably the best choice. I mean, Treads buff his illusions with this strength gain and give him some attack speed, and Chaos Knight's attack speed is extremely low. He won't be able to get many critical strikes with his in the middle of battle when his attack speed is so low. So Milk, Loda's asking Milk, why don't you have Divine Rapier? Enigma took my jungle. What items do you have? What's 2 level unders? Loda says, I'm disappointed, Milk, and Milk says, fuck Enigma, man. That's basically all it comes down to. When Enigma's in your jungle, taking all your creeps, taking your kids, taking your wife, looks like Dendi and Dread managed to pick off Z-Maj, with the Ancient Apparition, and Sand King is doing a terrible job of lasting. Sand King is probably nowhere near closest to his Blink Dagger. He has 134 gold, so I'm guessing he has no money. Let's check the crow. There are wards. Very, very interesting crow purchase right there. There are, in fact, wards. And that is it. Neither side is farming very well, so... Oh, looks like Loda managed to pick up his Boots of Travel, and Tinker with A is a pretty powerful combination. I mean, with A's Global Nuke And with